Hi, my name is Chris Sapersky. I'm a music teacher in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I've been working with strategies and motivation, goal setting for students, and a big part of that has been how we use assessment and how we attach that assessment to the performance rubrics. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. Some of the problems I was trying to overcome were keeping the audio in a separate place from the assessment and the rubric. I actually want to keep it in the same file together. Students and parents that were unable to hear the recordings, the difficulty of collecting and analyzing data, and the big question is, what's the recording actually for? Is the recording for the student or for the teacher? And then of course money, because there are programs out there that will do this nicely for you, such as Smart Music, but in a time of budgets, like to be low cost or no cost. So what did I do? This looks like quite a list. For the performance aspect of things, we used G-class folders to install folders in each student Google account, Doctopus to send assessments to the students' folders, Goobric that attaches the rubric to each assessment and will collect the data. The big one that I want to talk about today is Kaizena, which attaches audio in the comment feed, so we can actually record the performance and put it right in the comment feed of the document. Doesn't work in spreadsheets, just in a document. We also had an online theory exam, which we used Google Forms to do, and that was graded by Philabaru. So let me show you how this worked with the individual students. Here's the performance rubric that we're using for our students in the vocal area. It lists the topics such as tone and intonation, musicality and technique, and then divides each of those topics into learning targets with what does quality sound like, and a score of 1, 2, or 3 in each of those. For this first assessment of the year, I was just using body posture, pitch matching, and vowel shapes. Okay. So just 3 scores this time. What happens, the student has already recorded it with me, and when you click on the comment thread, when the comment thread opens, you see a message right here that says there is an audio recording. And so you click on that, and it launches a new window. Kaizena opens in a new tab. It will actually show you where the recording was. When you're recording, you just kind of click over an area, you just kind of click and drag, and that is in order to create a recording. This was in one of my other screencasts. But what I want to do is listen to this one that I made. So I click on this old one, and right here it comes up and I can hear.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we...
Okay. So that's as much as I need to listen to right now, and I'm not showing you the whole screen just to protect privacy again. So now I'm back in my performance assessment rubric. I've closed my Kaizena tab, and I can now click on my little Goobric guy to bring up the rubric and submit the scores for the performance that I just heard, the performance that now lives in this comment thread over here. So again, I saw the person, so submit a few scores, the 3 that I talked about: posture, tone for vowel shapes, and pitch matching. I don't want it to email yet, actually, but what we're working on here is goal setting. I'm going to say, excellent job. I suggest a goal on tall, north, south vowels that will contribute to a mature tone quality. I'm going to submit that. And it's saved. Submitted my scores using Goobric. It added another row to the bottom of the spreadsheet. It's the Doctopus spreadsheet that I created originally, and it has the scores. It fills in zeros because I was only looking for three certain spots, learning targets this time. But what I really like, it also has the comments, and then I added another column here with a formula just to add up the scores that I wanted. So this particular student has an 8 out of 9. And now I can go back over to a sheet that I made and just enter her score, 8 there, which will conditionally format it to say that, yeah, that was a pretty high score. And I'm just going to make a note for myself, a simple comment for the future. can also see on this side is a column of online theory scores. These are the performance scores on the right, and these are the theory scores on the left. So this particular student had a 54% on their theory and an 8 out of 9, so they're on their way with the theory and doing pretty well with performance. You can see as we go down through here, we've got some fairly low theory scores and some fairly high performance scores. This is an 8th grade choir. The theory exam, online theory exam, I mentioned we are using a Google form that is auto-graded, and it sorts it by class as well. And then we continue on, and it basically asks all different symbols and rhythms and different musical terms. So this is the first page. There are 67 questions, and Flubberoo does a nice job of auto-grading each of those assessments. That data then ends up back on this chart, this master chart that I have, the theory scores on the left and the performance scores on the right. And we can do a couple things with that data in Google. We can look at the theory scores, and we can just see what the spread of theory scores is for the initial assessment at the beginning of the year, baseline. We can look at performance scores. We can look at class performance versus theory. So this is on an XY chart. Each dot represents a student. So this would be a student with a performance score of 6 and a theory score of about 25. So we can add a trend line here using Google, and we can see that in the different quadrants, this upper right quadrant would be our most independent musicians, and how do we move all of these other dots to the right and up. Another way to look at the same thing would be in a bubble chart. This particular bubble right here represents average score and in both directions. So an average score of about 6.4 and an average theory score of less than 50 right now. So we've got some work to do to move up and also to the right. So that is how I have solved some of these problems this year. Now the performance is actually attached to the assessment itself. In the comment thread, students and parents can hear anytime. We can use it at conferences. Teachers can easily collect data on every student that can be analyzed at the class level like we just looked at. Students can use the recordings and rubrics to set goals for growth, and the cost of this entire thing is 0. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Chris Sapersky, and here's my contact information. Good luck.